bad. Loose. Hello and welcome to today's episode of Everything I Made in 2024. Here's the thing. I made a lot of things in 2024. I have my phone as my little cheat sheet here because, full disclosure, I made this whole video yesterday and forgot to list many things. So I have all my ducks in a row, I have everything organized. Also, my dogs are with me, so if you hear chewing noises, that's where they're coming from. Last year I wanted to make a big emphasis on mending and making do, right? Fixing things before going out and buying things. Seeing if I had something to fill a need before going out and purchasing something to fill said need. So that resulted in a lot of mending. And as you can see, the shirt that I'm wearing is a patchwork mend job, and it's got some patches, well, it's got patches everywhere because it's got holes everywhere, but this is my favorite sweatshirt, so I had to do it. You can see all the things that I worked on this year just to make things work better for me. Some of it was visible mending, some of it was just putting patches on top, and so I found that there are different ways to fix every kind of thing, and yeah, it was a fun challenge, and I'll probably continue to do that this year, just trying to reduce my footprint, because it turns out I have a lot of things. I learned how to cane a chair because I had this old chair and it was broken, and I thought, well, why not? And so I learned 2 different types of caning, which was interesting. That was a cool process to learn. In that same vein of seeing a need, filling the need, I created a hat holder for my husband because I was asking him, hey, where can I put your hats when I find them? And he said, I don't really have a place for them. And so I said, okay. So I made this hat holder, and it works great. I was happy with that. And then I also made a case for my knitting needles, and it turned out so good. Moving on to everything that I knitted and crocheted. So first I made my first wearable item ever in crochet. So I started with this eye pattern that I got from Etsy for like $5, something like that. And then I added on the outside. It was really an interesting freestyle project using some double crochets and some single crochets, and then granny stitch on the back. I just expanded it from there and finished it off with some knit ribbing because I'm really terrible at crochet ribbing. I haven't been able to figure it out yet. But yeah, so I made that. Super happy with how that turned out. I made a toad from Odd Knits. I love her knitting patterns. They are so good and they're free, which is so nice. But it's kind of a realistic toad, which I thought was really fun because it's not something you typically see. I also made Claire Garland's frog with sweater, and I love him. I've made him 3 times now, I think. Crocheted a bunch of tiny frogs because if you can, why not? I also made a chicken without a pattern, and that was fun. That was a fun experiment. And I made a goose. Funny story about this goose. The pattern was so hard to find because I kept seeing this goose. I knew it was knitted. I didn't know enough about knitting to be able to recreate it on my own. Not yet. But I couldn't find it, and so I put a Reddit page up, and somebody said, oh, it's this Russian creator on boosty.to, and I was like, okay, that sounds interesting. Maybe sketchy, question mark? Anyway, I found her page, I found her Instagram. I actually bought the pattern from that spot. Was it in Russian? Absolutely. So I actually used ChatGPT to translate it. Funny thing is, now there's an English pattern on Etsy uploaded by a different creator, so I wonder who came first, the goose or the egg? I don't know. I know that the Russian one was up there first, but Moomy, hello baby. Since she will have it no other way, I must continue filming in this position, so don't mind me. I also crocheted a fall garland with tiny crows and pumpkins and mushrooms and ghosts. I actually figured out the pattern for the crow by looking at another bird pattern. There was a free bird pattern online. And so I looked at that. I looked at some crows that I was trying to get inspiration from because I thought they were super cute. And so I just kind of made my own pattern based off of those. And then I crocheted a spring garland out of mushroom-shaped pom-poms. And I crocheted the vine, I don't know, the garland string. I crocheted that. But yeah, that's all the things that I crocheted and or knitted. I also made a punch needle cushion for this couch. It's behind me right now, so I can't pull it out, but here are some pictures. But I love how it turned out. Clearly it's like vintage Halloween decor inspired, very over the garden wall. So happy with how it came out. I also did some sewing, other than the practical things. I made some juggling balls, because why not? I was trying to learn how to juggle. I'm still very bad at it. Like I said, I'm not good at it at all. But I made this tiny pattern to see if I liked them, and then they ended up turning out so small that I can't really use them. They're too light. They're too light and unwieldy. And I also sewed a whole gown. Fun fact, I started this project last year and ended up getting overrun with commissions, and so I couldn't finish it. But this year, I didn't do that. I had just enough. I had just enough commissions. I had just enough time to finish the dress, and when I say just enough, I mean I was sewing in the zipper 30 minutes before I had to leave. I was cutting it close, but look, I work really well with a deadline. In fact, I really only work super well with a deadline, because otherwise I'll just take forever on it. And in honor of the 15-year anniversary of Coraline and them releasing it in theaters again, I also made her squid from the movie just with some fabric that I had lying around. I just wanted to bring it with me to the premiere because I thought that would be cute. And now it's sitting on my shelf forevermore, and I love it to bits. Although, and sidebar, what happened to movie theaters? What happened? Why do you have to reserve your seat, first off? And second, why do people come in halfway through the movie? And third, why do people talk and be on their phones? I don't get it. I don't get it. Why pay for a movie, which is like, you know, 40, 50 bucks if you're taking 2 people, without popcorn, and then be on your phone? Can you tell I'm bitter? We went to see Wicked. It was amazing, but the 2 girls next to me were on their phone the whole time. But maybe I'm just old. I also made some lino prints, which are where you take that pink stuff and you carve into it, and that makes a rubber stamp. I made one that was some cute mushrooms, which I made into a bookmark. And then I created the cover for one of my songs that I released. It's called Soup's On. And if you watch any of my shorts, I'm sure you'll come across it eventually, because it's one of my favorites that I've made. I made some bun shrooms, which are mushrooms on bobby pins that you can stick into your bun, and it makes you look like you've got little mushroom horns, which I think is so fun. They were actually a commission, but I wanted to share those because I thought they were super cute. I also made this ghost hair clip that I'm wearing right now. Can you see it? If you can't, I'll put some pictures up of it anyway. I needle felted that and then sewed it to the backing. In another vein, I like collecting bugs that I find. If I find a dead bug and it's pretty, you best believe I'm gonna keep it. But I hadn't done anything with said bugs, so I decided to actually, you know, make a little display. I guess trigger warning if you hate bugs. Sorry. Do you like my rainbow scarabs and my cicada? 'Cause I do. I think they're cool. And I've only got one more thing. I made this little book out of paint chips that I got from Lowe's and maybe Walmart. I think I went to a couple different places. With all of that being said, I think it was a very fun year. Oh, I forgot to talk about the little cat that I knitted. Oh, I got the pattern out of a book. I don't remember what it's called. In conclusion, This year has been really good. I feel like I've had the space to create a lot of things. I've been trying to, kind of smush the fear of failure or the fear of something not turning out well and just enjoy the process. And although that's not always easy, it feels good. I feel like when I can set aside my perfectionistic tendencies, I just do more, and doing more can eventually lead to doing better things. Anyway, I hope you had a wonderful year. Feel free to comment whatever you made last year, or if you want to just list a couple things you feel accomplished for, I would love to hear it down in the comments. But I'm gonna hang out with these babies and finish my espresso and call it a day. I'll see you later.